Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. I figured I'd have you guys look at something different for the beginning of the video instead of the old meter maid Cushman out there. So let's see, first of all, been overcast, raining, so batteries aren't charged. It's about 11:40, 18 degrees C, 60% humidity. Welcome to the 8th of June, Monday, 64.5 degrees. Well, let me show you what showed up yesterday. Seems that my wife has me, or is trying to shut me down, trying to keep me from bringing things home. But for my sons, that's not true. They're still allowed to bring things home. Kind of interesting, given that I pay all the bills here, but we'll let that flip for now, or slide for now. So, my son brought home something that is a brand name I'm not too into. He brought home a Yamaha. I'm kind of a Honda purist myself. He picked this up from a friend of his. He showed me the registration. It appears to be an '02. I mean, you could see it was last registered in 11. It's got about 900 miles on it. Riva by Yamaha. Oh, I mean, it looks like somebody road rashed it a little bit here. In New York State, by the way, that wouldn't pass inspection. I don't know if this thing needs to be inspected. My son says no, but I mean, folks, that's an inspection sticker right there, right? Other than that rash, I don't see anything else. Let me show you what it does. He paid $200 for it. He got it from one of his former employees. He recently changed jobs, so there you go. It's in the picture. So you turn it on, give it a kick, and it fires right up. But it does not appear to be getting gas. If you let it sit, it'll fire up again as it just did. Runs for, I don't know, 10 seconds and stops. If you let it sit. If you try to fire it up like immediately, like you fire it up and then fire it up and then fire it up, it keeps running less and less time. So to me, it's not getting gas. I've never worked on one of these before. I'm not exactly sure what needs to come off to, of course, Annie wants it fixed yesterday. I see coil there, gas tank, oil. I mean, there's plenty of oil in it. Oil's important on a two-stroke, because if you let them run out of oil, we all know what happens. Yeah, I'm not sure how this plastic comes off. Right, that appears to be attached to something real in the back too. Anyway, so it says it's a Razz here, and then it says Riva, unless it's it's not really a Yamaha, it's a Chinese Riva, but Yamaha put their stamp of whatever on it, and then they call it a Yamaha Razz, but it's really a Chinese bike. I mean, it says Yamaha all over it, but maybe they think it's a Chinese bike. Anyway, if anybody's worked on these, like Wally has a shop, so I don't know. Maybe he's worked on these before. Could also be because I've run across this on another bike, that if the battery is stone cold dead, for some reason they start and then run for a short period and die. I guess that's easy enough to figure out. I can put it on a battery charger and see if it fires up and behaves itself on a battery charger for a little while. Anyway, if anybody has any comments on these, he only paid $200 for it. I'm sure whatever its problem is, it's not that big a deal to figure it out. It does have gas in it, by the way, before anybody tells me, you sure you got gas in it? Yeah, it has gas in it. And if anybody's in New York State that actually has experience with these things, to me it looks like a 50cc thing. For those of you, the only experience I have is I rented something similar to this. It was more mopedy, it was more of a bicycle, mopedy type bicycle, but it did not have pedals. Anyway, I rented it in Block Island, and it was a Tao, T-A-O-T-A-O. I got to tell you, we rode that thing all over Block Island, uphill, downhill, all over the place. I mean, we had to get it back within a certain period of time. So the way back, I had that thing, you know, throttle twisted as far as it would go for the whole way back. And it seemed to have a governor. It did 30, didn't do any more than that, maybe 35. And we just ran it wide open all the way back. But it carried the two of us, and between the two of us, let me give you a hint, that's like a major part of 400 pounds. So that little thing, I don't know what he plans on doing with it. He is talking about registering it, and he's talking about riding it about. A bit dangerous near where I live. There's a high school not far from where I live, and my road, though it's a nice country road, is kind of a feeder road for people trying to get to that high school. And particularly, that high school runs summer classes for the county, for all the characters that, you know, kind of flunked a thing or two or five. So a lot of the delinquents go to summer school, and I live on a feeder road to the delinquents driving to summer school. How's that for a dangerous place to live? You know, you see a lot of hot rods and whoop-dees coming down the road at 100 miles per hour, and not a great place to be riding your scooter. It's a good, I mean, unless you want to meet your maker or find out what it's like to get orthopedic surgery, bone surgery, for when one of those characters hits you and puts you out in the buckwheat. But not a great place for staying alive and staying healthy. I used to walk my road quite a bit, and believe it or not, I kind of gave it up because too many of these characters would be coming down the road, you know, side by side, wide open, and, you know, where do you go? You got to jump in the bushes, right? Not a lot of fun. My town, we don't have our own police department. We have state troopers that are the state troopers kind of do the night duty in my town, and the sheriff's department kind of does the day duty. You call kind of 911, and if you live where I live, the county dispatchers who's ever closest to you, right? There's some major state roadways that the troopers are always running up and down, so generally speaking, they could get loose and get here pretty quickly. Or, there's always a sheriff, a deputy dog sheriff floating around, and they can kind of get here quickly if there's a problem. And then, because my town doesn't have somebody on, we don't have a police department, right? So there's nobody 24/7 on. We pay the county and the state for those services, right? And I think it's quite a bit cheaper than actually having your own standby police department. The other thing about standby police departments, typically, if they don't have a lot to do, what do? They kind of set up speed traps in your town and all that other stuff. And not that I particularly like having the kids driving 100 miles per hour up and down my road, but normally the kids that do that, they only do it once or twice, and they end up in the buckwheat on one of the bad turns, and then they no longer have a car. But I don't know. What do I like better? Being able to walk up and down my road where the kids don't speed because the cops are out there, patrolling them, or once the cops finish with them, now they're chasing everybody around in circles for driving 5 miles per hour over the limit, or forgetting to signal, or rolling a stop sign. I don't know. I think I prefer a little less police action and a little bit more, perhaps letting natural selection go its course, right? If the kid's got to drive 100 miles per hour where it's 30, they very quickly end up in the buckwheat and they no longer have a car. Not that I want to see anybody get hurt, but, people who do stupid things, sometimes stupid things come to them. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and come on, get out there and enjoy all your days. So anybody who knows anything about these Yamaha / Riviera Razz scooters, let me know. Particularly how to get to the air cleaner and carburetor without having a huge pile of parts that now I have to figure out how to put back together again. Okay, folks. Thanks. Bye now.